You're doing everything right. You stay late, you show up early, you reply fast, you care too much, you take on extra work, even when you don't have to. Because that's what driven people do, right? You've been told your whole life that hard work pays off, so you do it. You work harder, you push more. You keep telling yourself, maybe next time. But next time comes, and somehow it's still not your turn. You did the extra shift, no recognition. You took on that project, no reward. You stayed consistent, patient, reliable, and still feel invisible. Meanwhile, there's always that someone who barely tries, and everything just clicks for them. They do half the work, make twice the progress, and somehow always end up ahead. You grind, they glide, and you can't help but wonder, how? What are you doing wrong? Because if hard work automatically led to success, you'd already be there. You've put in the hours, you've paid your dues, you've given everything you've got, and yet it still feels like life hasn't cashed your effort check. Maybe the problem isn't your work ethic. Maybe it's the system you've been told to follow. Because sometimes it's not about how hard you work. It's about what you're working toward. Chapter 1. Effort over strategy. You've been told, work hard and you'll win. So you do exactly that. You stay up till 2 a.m., being productive, but mostly end up organizing files you'll never open again. You make color-coded plans about how to make more plans. You answer every single message like it's a world-saving mission. You're tired, but can't even explain what actually got done. You can work really hard and still lose, because sometimes you're hammering nails when the project calls for screws. You're sprinting full speed, just in the wrong direction. You don't need more energy. You need a map. Stop asking, how can I work harder? Start asking, what actually moves the needle? Because doing 1,000 little things might make you look busy, but doing one thing that truly matters, that's what changes everything. Sometimes less effort, with more clarity, wins every time. Chapter 2. The premature pivot. You start a new thing, you work like crazy for 2 weeks, and then nothing. No results, no magic, just effort. So you quit and start a new thing, then quit again. Congrats. You've just become the Olympic athlete of almosts. Think about it. You start going to the gym. Day 1, you're unstoppable. Day 2, you're sore. Day 3, you Google, can muscle pain last forever? By day 5, you're like, maybe yoga's more my thing. Or you start a side hustle. Buy the planner, the pens, the domain, the vision board. Then 2 weeks later, you're watching Netflix like, I'll relaunch when Mercury's in a better mood. Or maybe it's a diet. You eat clean for 4 days straight. Then you see one slice of pizza, and suddenly it's cheat decade. Here's the thing. Success isn't a staircase. It's a roller coaster. You put in 80% of the effort for only 20% of the result. And right before it takes off, right before the curve shoots upward, you quit. You think it's failure, but really your success was just buffering. You just rage quit before it loaded. Sometimes you don't need a new plan. You just need to stay long enough for the one you have to start working. Chapter 3. Misaligned definition. You're working yourself to the bone, trying to get that raise, that title, that shiny car. But deep down, you don't even want it. What you really want? Freedom, peace, time to eat lunch without your phone buzzing every 3 seconds. But instead, you chase what looks impressive, not what actually feels right. You tell yourself, once I hit that number, then I'll relax. But when you get there, your brain just moves the finish line again. You buy the fancy watch, but still feel empty. You hit a work milestone and instantly open LinkedIn just to see who's doing better. You celebrate your promotion by checking your work email. You can't even enjoy success because you're too busy comparing it. And when your goal isn't really yours, your brain knows. You'll forget deadlines. You'll accidentally procrastinate. Not because you're lazy, but because your soul's basically saying, buddy, this isn't the mission. You're climbing a mountain, but it's not even the one you wanted to be on. And the view at the top? Yeah, still doesn't feel right. So before you chase harder, ask yourself, is this even your race? Chapter 4. The invisible constraint. This one's sneaky. You can't see it, but it's probably running the show. You say you want to win, you say you want success. But deep down, a tiny part of you doesn't believe you deserve it. You dream big, but the moment something actually starts going well, you panic. You get good feedback and immediately think, they're just being nice. You get an opportunity and somehow convince yourself you're not ready yet. You start a project, then overthink it till it dies in a Google Drive folder named final1_reel. You call it perfectionism, but sometimes it's fear. Fear of being seen, fear of failing, or worse, fear of actually succeeding. Because success changes things. It puts eyes on you. It raises expectations. And if a part of you still believes you're not enough, you'll start hitting your own brakes without realizing it. You'll procrastinate right before something big. You'll forget to reply to that opportunity. You'll sabotage what you've been working for. Not because you don't want it, but because some old story in your head says you're not allowed to have it. It's like pressing the gas pedal with one foot and the brake with the other. You can't outwork self-doubt. You have to outgrow it. Because the truth is, no amount of late nights can fix a belief that says, I'm not worthy yet. Once you start believing you are, everything else finally starts to move. Chapter 5. Deep work. So, what's the way out of all that chaos? How do you stop being the busiest, unproductive person on earth? 2 words, deep work. And no, it's not some fancy course or silent retreat in the mountains. Deep work simply means actually focusing. No notifications, no multitasking, no just checking something real quick. It's when your brain finally shuts out the noise and remembers what it's truly capable of. Because let's be real, you've been there. You sit down to get serious. 2 minutes later, you're checking if your plants are thriving. 5 minutes later, you're watching a video called 10 Habits of Billionaires, while your only habit is watching videos about billionaires. Shallow work makes you feel productive. Deep work actually creates something. Here's the truth. If you want to do meaningful work, you've got to build a wall around your focus. That's what deep work really is. Not monk mode, not a 5 a.m. lifestyle. Just you protecting your attention like it's your last brain cell. And let's be honest, you don't need more motivation. You need fewer distractions. Because most of the time, it's not that you can't focus. It's that your brain has been trained to sprint between tabs like it's doing cardio. You open your laptop to work and somehow end up in a YouTube rabbit hole. About penguins or productivity hacks, you'll never actually try. The trick is simple. You've got to trick your brain back into silence. Start small. Pick one thing, just one that really matters, and give it your full attention for a while. No notifications, no multitasking, no background chaos pretending to be research. At first, it'll feel strange. Your brain will itch to check your phone. You'll reach for it like it's oxygen. But that discomfort, that's focus coming back online. Stay in it long enough, and something amazing happens. Time slows down. You stop reacting and start actually thinking. And that task you've been avoiding for weeks, you finish it. Not perfectly, but completely. And that feeling right there, and that quiet, finally done moment, that's the satisfaction of deep work. It's not about working longer. It's about going deep enough that what you make actually matters. Because scrolling gives you noise. Focus gives you clarity. And once you get a taste of that kind of clarity, you start craving it more than your next quick check or dopamine hit. You stop chasing busy days and start building days that count. So don't overthink deep work. It's not a system. It's not a ritual. It's just the courage to say, I'm not available right now. I'm building something that actually matters. That's deep work. Quiet. Simple. Game-changing. Chapter 6. The New Metric. You haven't failed. You've just been using the wrong scoreboard. Because let's be real, most of us measure success in the dumbest ways possible. You say things like, I was so busy today. But half that busy was replying noted in group chats and spending 20 minutes deciding which font makes you look more productive. We confuse movement with progress. We celebrate exhaustion instead of effectiveness. But being busy isn't the same as being successful. It just means you had no boundaries and bad Wi-Fi. Here's the thing. If you spent 8 hours answering emails, you worked hard. But if you spent 2 focused hours building something that matters, you worked smart. See the difference? Because busy looks impressive, but intentional actually changes things. So maybe the goal isn't to fill your day. Maybe it's to shape your day, to do fewer things, but do them fully, to trade constant motion for deliberate impact. Let's redefine success for a second. It's not how many hours you sat at your desk. It's not how many notifications you cleared. It's not how tired you feel at the end of the day. It's about one question. Did you move something that actually matters? That's your new metric. Because the truth is, success rarely happens in chaos. It happens in clarity, in those quiet, focused pockets of time, where you build something real instead of reacting to everything fake. So stop asking, did I do enough today? Start asking, did I do the right thing today? Close the apps, pick the one thing that matters, and give it your best 90 minutes of full, undistracted focus. That's your new scoreboard. Not how fast you ran, not how many tasks you checked off, but how much deep value you created. Because working harder makes you tired. Working with purpose makes you unstoppable. Stop running in circles. Start building what matters. That's the new metric. Hard work still matters, but it's not everything. You can give your all and still feel stuck if you're moving in the wrong direction. So slow down, rethink, put your energy where it actually counts. Because success isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters with focus and intention. You're not behind. You're just learning how to work smarter. Keep going, keep growing. You got this. And hey, if this hit home, subscribe for more reminders like this one. The kind that make you breathe a little and believe a little more in yourself.